Hold on, let me adjust my shirt here. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Looking sexy as hell as usual. Thought I would wake up with everybody, do a little bit of posting while chat with my people. We'll see how this does. We don't know how lively these will be at the start. Sometimes they kick off immediately, sometimes they take 30 minutes. I don't really know. We'll just let what happened happen. And yeah, let me get woken up here. We'll put up the Amazon wish list, and yeah, get my day started. I'll make a few posts and stuff while I'm in here, just to keep everything flowing. Okay. All right, if you guys would hit like as soon as you get in here, please. It will get more people there. All right. But once we get our regular crew in, then we're usually good. Once we get the regular crew, we're good to go as a general rule. Because that's what gets it active. And once that happens, then it goes into everybody's feeds. So, training day to day, we get up and train hard. I do feel like I somehow need to get more shoulder work in my training, but I'm trying to also, let all that heal up. I think I'm going to mess with. I'm going to do pretty much almost identical workout with what I did Friday. Obviously, I mean, obviously reps will be a little different depending on how strong we are. I may throw some kettlebell overhead presses in instead of the dumbbell. I just realized I have all those kettlebells. I can probably get that same benefit that I want out of that. But yeah, so it's definitely slow in here so far. I wonder what's up with that. Well, a few more people in, but no one's hitting likes, so they're not regulars. I know if I'm getting likes that it's regulars, otherwise it's random traffic. It's not my normal people, my morning crowd. It's a little earlier though. I'm up at a decent time today. I didn't sleep in later. All right. That does matter. All right, that does matter. So make a few posts while we do that. I need to come up with something good for the Facebook fitness page. Maybe think of a good status. I'm not awake enough to do anything besides the good morning stuff. Adam, man, I'm out of coffee. Very jealous of you. We'll go get some coffee, bro. Doing back today, though, we'll be leaving in a couple hours. It's all good, Adam. But at least you're in here. You're commenting. You're not a regular in these. All right, cool. So we're seeing a new face already. I have a regular crowd of about 10 to 12 people who come through these coffee chats almost every day. They get in fights with each other and stuff. It's funny. I have one guy who's a serious troll. He likes to argue with everyone. He argues with anyone who's a woman. It's really strange. He'll be in. And you're in my recommended. Don't know if that's encouraging or not. Well, if you're going to go train back, it is. If you've seen my lats, even bodybuilders would be freaking out. I'm a strength athlete, but I do have a pretty big V-taper. No, I do lots of back training. I mean, I do rep work with 500 pounds on the deadlift 3 days a week, and I'm about to turn 49. You should do high reps of weighted pull-ups, 10 plus reps. I do a lot of back work. You do sets of 15 with 225 on the barbell row. It's training day, so I'll have new footage up. I vlog all of it. So if you're talking about training your back, you were in the right place. A lot of guys don't like my answers. I think a lot of the stuff that guys do for their back is a complete waste of time. So I'll get guys who are, and then I see the silly stuff that you do, and I'm like, that's your problem. one arm lat pull down, squeezing, just stop. Just get really, 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 really strong at rows, weighted pull-ups and deadlifts. That's it. That's all you have to do. There's your solution. Right. I like the one-arm dumbbell. I like one-arm dumbbell rows, but really, Scott, the barbell row is king. I mean, they can be fun, but they can be useful. I've done them, definitely done them in phases. I do them with up to 135-pound dumbbell. But what's funny is in this course cut, as you know, people come through and tell me I don't know how to do any back exercise correctly. I get so much criticism for my back exercises, but at the same time, everyone says, why do you have such a crazy back? You don't do anything right. Because I row to the chest on everything. I don't believe in swinging to the hip, any of this silly nonsense. I'm not up early. I'm up at my normal time. My plans today, we're going to lift. I think my clients are all pretty well caught up. I don't have any client work today. So it's just going to be training, live streams, social media content. All right. Pretty much it. I'll do some guitar stuff. I'll practice on guitar. Of course, anything not training or work related, you don't hear about because my personal life stays off the internet. Hit that like, by the way, guys. Keep them likes going. We're getting regulars in. Yeah. Cool. Well, Dad's being good so far. He hasn't done the one thing I told him I'll ban him over. Because I already know you were tempted to say, you should go listen to the thing that I told you I'll ban you if you say it again. I was dead serious too. I'm a man of my word. If I promise you I'll do something, I will 100% do it. So I was dead serious when I told you I'd ban you over it. That'll be the end of it. No, I'm not risking it. Yeah. Because you already know I'll do it. I'll just like, and make a little. All right, cool. Yeah. People will notice that with me. When I tell people no on something, even in real life, my friends and family know that. Like, a no, it's a hard no. Hey, Jason, you should listen to this song. I'm like, no. Don't ask me again. Santosh, good morning. Good morning to you. All right. I've noticed that people on the internet are bad about that, by the way. They don't understand what a no means. And I don't mean just in live stream. I'm talking across the board. It's an interesting thing. It's not like in the real world. Like, people think that they can just like peer pressure you into stuff. People don't do that in the real world. Like, people don't mess with me at all, really, honestly. So outside of the internet, I have no context for these behaviors. I've never even had anyone be rude to me. Like, I don't even know what that's like other than the internet. On the internet, they hurl crazy insults. Right? Like, I've never had someone raise their voice at me in public or be rude or tell me to move or, I have no context for this. I did have one guy honk at me once though and like flip me off because I was doing it. I couldn't really move from the spot I was in. He kind of like yelled and honked or whatever, and I just held up a clock and then he like took off. Just like, okay, we're gonna play. I was chill about it, but dude, I could all road rage you. That's my only experience with it. Like a person being rude in public. I have no context of these things. I may need to go refill my coffee though, guys. All right, hold on. We'll be right back, guys. Right. Back. Sykes says people find comfort in the anonymous nature of the internet, so they often behave very differently. You don't think there are real repercussions, right? Something I've dealt with a lot. Right. Poor Ike. I have no idea what we're talking about with poor Ike. The Swedish oak. Yeah, that's exactly. But this tells us a lot about their true nature, doesn't it? How people behave when they can be anonymous and think there's no consequences. This speaks volumes about who they really are. Right. I think it does. But it also tells me that they're cowards. Like if people behave differently with the anonymity of the internet versus what they put out, then they're just a coward. Like, and people can't accuse me of this because I just say whatever the hell I want under my real legal name and my real face all over the internet with blue check marks on everything. So no one can throw that back at me. I got no trouble telling somebody to eat a whole bag of dicks. I just want the whole bag, all of it. I try not to use profanity in these. It's better for monetization. But I'm like that in person too, dude. I'll tell some dude straight up to go F themselves with a 12-inch rubber dick, break it off, and beat themselves with what's left of it. I don't care. I just don't care. Leave me alone. I'm like that with dudes. I'm very polite to women now. It's kind of funny. My friends and clients are like, they're like, dude, you're such an asshole, but you're so nice to women. Like, yeah, because we should be. I'm reading the crowd study of the polar mind. It's about physical crowds, where they think is quite relevant to crowds on the internet, groups of echo chambers, right? Echo chambers are really fascinating online, aren't they? Can't wait to see you, Dad. I can't wait to see Psych in person. Tell her how I really feel. Oh my gosh. What, are you guys actually in communication? Are y'all going to like meet up or something? Did he message you, Psych? Has he been hitting you up on social media? That would be ridiculous. Ridiculously absurd. David, what's up, man? Our liver catches the worm. Yes, indeed. He tried to message. Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh man. Dad, you didn't. Dad, you didn't try to message her. Oh man. I'm doing the peach dark roast at the moment. I put up pictures of it. Like I take pictures of all my foods and things that I do. I document. Besides, since all my pictures are monetized, of course I'm gonna put pictures up of everything. Why wouldn't I? That's so weird that people think that people who have followings online, oh, they're just doing this for attention and clout. No, we like to get paid. Like the chick who's putting up her shaking her booty or whatever is making thousands and thousands of dollars. Not on OnlyFans. Just an FYI. Triple dipping. No, I'm just double dipping, Brian. I just got Facebook and the tubes running concurrently. All right, you got to stack the paper. Can you tell her to message me back, please? No, I'm not going to tell her to. I'm not going to tell a woman that she needs to message some dude back who she doesn't want to message. Man, there are limits. I must only use my powers for good, right? I must only use my coach Blaha superpowers for good, and that wouldn't be for good, honestly, man. So I'm gonna have to go with a hard no on that one. All right. With great power comes great responsibility. Heavy is the crown. I'm a coach. I'm a new man. Yeah, I'm not buying that, bro. Yeah, not buying it. Nope. Yeah. Okay, you're right, but because she won't write me back, I dislike her even more. Well, that's you're entitled to feel that way, man. You say strength is important, but why is your bench and squat always the same for years? Well, have you considered that I'm at a lighter body weight and I'm older, and my bench has gone up? What are you talking about? Has my bench not gone up in the last few years? My squat is down because I don't weigh 240 pounds. You can't expect me to squat 600 pounds anymore. Right. I'm weighing 209. I'm about to be 49. It's just not unreasonable. TRT said, yeah, that's complete nonsense. That is not how it works. So, do we even want to give this guy a vote? Or do we just want to go straight to Kapow? Anybody want to? Let's get a morning vote. Yeah, that was from that screenshot earlier this year. Dad and the boys gives him a Kapow. Vote time, y'all. Right. One Kapow, nobody else voting. I'm not going to be loud with it. It's still morning. Kapow. Booyakasha. Get out of here. Are we done? Right. Yeah, that's from that old photo set. I have like 30, 40 pictures from there. I need to put some of them up again. It was funny to me because people were like, haters were like, you photoshopped that. And I'm like, no, we really didn't. There's not even a filter on it. Now, in my defense, the friend who did it has a really good eye for angles and lighting. So, I mean, she kind of nailed it, but she just did that on one of my phones, and it's just straight unedited. But again, an eye for angles goes a long way. I don't have it personally. But yeah, I have a bunch in that. I have at least 30 pictures from that shoot. Dad, yeah. Do you want to see the video? No, it's a couple inches high. That's so it's like, but still, I'll take it. I'm gonna do a plate check in that one because people are like, some of the plate. So there you go, 605 with a cambered bar. Now, granted, I was almost 40 pounds heavier than I am now. All right, I'm looking at a big hairy Sasquatch there. So, yeah. And that's the thing. Like I look at it and go, look, if at 50 years old I can squat 500 pounds, I'll take that as a win. So for you guys who don't use freedom units, 230 kilograms. Like if I can hit that at 50 at a healthy body fat, I mean, I'll take that. I don't have to be ultra elite. Like we don't have to be at the highest tiers of competition. Let's see, Karsten went ahead and made a whole new profile. I just kapow, booyakasha. Yeah, no, she was really happy with the shoot. It came out well. I have lots of friends who are girls. Like it's pretty normal for me. So that's everyone who knows me knows that. So if you don't think that I have like 20 friends who are women, you actually don't know anything about me at all. Like everyone who actually knows me understands this. Like all my real life friends and family. Like Jason doesn't show up places without bringing a date. It's just I have lots of friends who are women. Not even all friends with benefits. I just have a lot of lifelong friends who are women. A lot of them have known me 10, 20, 30 years. And it always gives me a dating pool because anytime I'm single, then if some of them are single, I always have girls that they want to go out and hang out too. Well, not girls, really, they're women. I mean, I don't mean girls like they're 25. I enjoy the company of ladies. Coach, pound for pound, what's the best part of Texas to move to? I don't know. No, not even girls on the go. I mean, I just have friends who are women. They feel safe around me, and I enjoy the company of women. Yeah. Right. I'm only single when I choose to be single. My last ex, when we broke up, I turned her down 3 times before I agreed to get with her. So what do we got going on? Pound for pound best. I don't know what the best part of Texas is. It's going to depend on what you're looking for, Jay Steve, in terms of keeping in mind Texas is massive and diverse. It really depends on what you're looking for. Like I know nothing about your lifestyle, right? No, most of them are not interested in internet fame. I don't really have true internet fame. I have more infamy than anything. I keep it actually private. This is why people don't know who I'm dating or my girlfriends and stuff for the most part. Keep in mind, even the one of them I had, people didn't find out until after I dumped her. Like trolls didn't find out I was dating her until after I dumped her. I was with her for 3 years. The internet had no clue. Coming from someone who's on the right, leaving California, just wants to work on his Corvette, you may want to consider Houston. Karsten, why did you go make a whole new profile after I banned you? You could at least use a different name so you don't have to come across as the same person, because I'm just going to reban you. You're using the same first name. I'm not even going to answer your serious question next. Yeah, so if you're definitely right-leaning, but you're coming from California, so if you're wanting a bigger city business type environment, I'd look into Houston. All right, yeah, be smarter if you're going to troll. Tell them government. However, if you're looking for more of the cultural and music scene with all that, consider Austin. I wouldn't necessarily do Dallas Fort Worth unless you're there for specific business stuff, like for work. It would not be my first choice. But you could also be looking. I'm assuming you're looking for a city. Now, if you're looking for country, then there's all sorts of areas. And then places like San Antonio and El Paso, those are just very, I guess it depends if that's what you're looking for. I wouldn't do El Paso with the current state of the border. Um, Way too much drug trafficking through there, way too much cartel crime. Like, El Paso is not the place you want to be. Um, yeah, at least make it a challenge for us. Tell the government. Good weather in Houston. How do we define good weather? Like seven circle of hell? Arnold, why you got to come up with something unique, man? Is it say you can't go from being a hater to trying to ask real questions? I'm not a TRT doctor. Maybe you should consider talking to a doctor about your TRT. I've had nothing but good things to say about it, you know. Right, but I'm also in shape and I lift and have good conditioning. So I mean, to me, TRT, good confidence, keeps your health better. You can go to Pound Town for an hour. It's all good. Um, it's good stuff. No, the weather and the land you're gonna have to go out in the country. Like, how much money do you have? Like, a land has gotten prohibitively expensive with the influx of people coming in, right? Like, you only got 100 grand to throw around. Don't be even talking about land right now. Just telling you with the influx of people. So unless you're going to go pretty far outside of a city. The weather in Houston is how hot are you used to? What's your favorite protein favorite Christmas? I'll buy some for your Amazon wish list as a thank you. I'll appreciate it. Yeah, it's funny. Birthday and Christmas is when I tend to get those. It's funny. I like the cookies and cream. The peanut butter is good. I buy the cookies and cream myself. The chocolate peanut butter was a gift off my wish list, but it's pretty good. But I really like the cookies and cream. Coach, would you rather be the supreme ruler of an independent Texas or the USA? I don't know that I'm qualified to lead a nation. As much as I would like to think so, I feel like that level of responsibility, I don't know that I'm the best person for the job. You know, Karsten, no, I don't do HCG or an estrogen blocker. I literally just do test set. That's my entire stack. I don't take anything for side effects, ancillaries. Literally just testosterone cypionate. That is literally the only drug I take at all. Occasionally I'll have an aspirin if I get a headache. Does that count? But it's not a regular thing. At least good nutrition would be promoted if you were in charge and getting under a barbell, right? I'd happily live under President Blaha. It would be a safe place to live, right? I don't know about all that. Let's see. A lot of people would get angry. I'd probably be assassinated. I'd go out hard after alcohol makers. All right. So, yeah. But definitely, you would actually see real measures to improve nutrition. None of this nonsense. I'm kind of pissed at RFK. So, Karsten, why are you coming at me all like a hater, and then now you want advice on TRT? You know, start making the shirts. Yeah, if the supplement industry was bad, the alcohol industry would be 10 times worse. And the supplement industry has its set of problems. But no, I mean, as far as even the Make America Healthy Again, I'm really actually rather pissed because he kind of pushed that whole thing, and I'm like, okay, we're actually going to do something about our nutrition and health. We banned some red dyes. We're talking about replacing high fructose corn syrup with sucrose. This is no benefit. Oh, let's replace all these high temp cooking seed oils with beef tallow, objectively worse by every measurable metric in clinical trials. And this idea that seed oil is this enemy is insane. Yes, seed oil is a problem because it's empty fat calories, absolutely. But there is literally no evidence that it causes all these other problems. Like there's none anywhere in the world. It doesn't cause inflammation. It doesn't do all this other stuff. But yeah, it can make you fat, and we shouldn't be frying our foods, obviously. Ojala, no, absolutely not. Oja, there is all data that has ever studied them found that table sugar is literally just as bad as high fructose corn syrup. There's no difference. You really shouldn't be eating either one. Do you recommend supplementing with protein, so whey or casein? I don't think you're going to see a significant difference in whey or casein. Whey tends to be better priced. Is there a big difference? Like you feel like you're 16? No, you're just going to feel normal, healthy. All right, Karsten, let's be honest. You're in your mid 30s. Your body is never going to feel 16 again. I don't care how many drugs you put into it. You have to get with the real world. That's why I laughed at your silly original comment. Like people who say that are stupid. Like it's so stupid to tell dudes in their 40s, oh yeah, if you just go on TRT, everything's going to be just like when you were 25. Your training response, your recovery. Wow. Talk about ignorant. Don't become a trainer. Do not train people because you're going to totally screw your clients. Yeah, seed oils are fat. Well, fat calories is the issue. But how could you not know that? Like it blows my mind that people even have that thought process. I can't even comprehend the thought process of how someone draws that conclusion. But no, I mean, it's a game changer in terms of mental and how you feel in that regard. But you're not going to gain 10 pounds of muscle from it. No. Sorry. Hey, Elja, you don't think refined fructose has negative metabolic benefits in significant amounts? I'm going to disagree. Have you had your liver checked to see if you're gaining non-alcoholic fatty liver? Are your triglycerides good? Peppermint. Yeah. 5 likes in here. What are we doing? Right? Tell them, guys, hit that like. And here's my question, Oja. Why are you consuming sucrose if your goal is training fuel? Only 50% of it is glucose. The other 50% is fructose. That has to go through your liver. Yeah, why do you think Jay Cutler did that? Because he shot insulin in the bathroom. I don't know what vegan gain cycle is, and I don't care. I don't do a lot of gear talking here because I'm streaming on Facebook too. But we don't do these conversations. If you need gear talk advice, I do $100 an hour consultations for steroid advice. Right. I demonize refined sugars. Hey, Oja, I have no problem whatsoever demonizing refined fructose at all. Notice I didn't demonize sugar. I don't have a problem with sugars. Any refined fructose, I will more than happy to demonize it. Straight up. Yes, I demonize it. And we should demonize it. How's that? You can choose not to demonize heroin and meth also. Okay, I'm going to demonize them. I'm going to demonize alcohol too. Now, refined fructose is further up the list of concerns, but there's no benefit to you consuming it. It's harmful overall to society as a whole. And if you simply wanted more glucose, why don't you just consume a glucose-based carbohydrate instead of the fructose that your liver has to process? You realize half of that sugar that you're consuming of that type is not even reaching your muscle tissue. Muscle cells do not burn fructose as a fuel source. They're going to burn glucose. Your liver is going to have to process most of it because it doesn't stay in your GI tract long enough to ferment to turn into glucose. You have a limited number of enzymes that can cleave that over to change it. So most of the big chunk of it's going to go to your liver to be processed. So you would actually be better just doing white rice at that point. If you simply wanted more glucose, get those likes if they're still only 5 likes, guys. You know. Hey, Karsten, quit thinking these people are natty. Just stop. You can't be that naive. Just stop. Oh, wait, I forgot. The definition of natural is someone who identifies as being natural. So since he writes natural, then he's natural, sure. Doesn't matter how many steroids you take, it's how you identify, right? Or simple carbs, but I don't do any immediate post-workout. Now, DJ, you guys would hate the way I eat. I train fasted. I don't eat any real food till noon. But I do a protein shake post-workout. But that's usually not till after 10. Right? So I don't do carbohydrate immediately after or before. So yeah, those long workouts you see me do, that is fasted. And then I'll have a protein shake about 10 minutes or so after I finish. And then I don't eat all my carbs and fat and stuff till noon or later. The general rule. I don't want TikTok. I don't want TikTok on my devices. Is eating fat after a workout. I don't watch TikTok. How much cardio? OJ, I can't give you an answer because there's no set amount. I was doing hours of cardio earlier this year when I was cutting, but right now I only run 3 days a week and then I do GPP. So I'm not really doing any real lifts. You know. So there is no target. I have no specific target for that. Cool. Well, I benched 350 for a 2-second pause flat back this year at 209. So we go to a powerlifting meet, they're going to hand me a higher score if we did bench only. And bench is my worst lift in comp. But I mean, it's not bad. I'm just saying, you were like clowning on me for my lifts. Here's the problem. You were giving me a hard time when you came in over my lifts, but I would destroy you in a powerlifting meet. Especially plug the H coefficient in. Now, is that 315 a real 315 or is it a bouncing gun? No, I'm not a fan of rest pause. So I'm just saying, man, if you're going to come and give me a hard time, we need to see better. I need to see a 600-pound squat. We need to see like a 400 bench. Like, if you're not hitting those numbers, you can't come in and give me a hard time over my lifts. Right? It's an Eric. So what does that mean? So if it's not paused, it doesn't count. That's zero. So if you don't pause it, it's zero. You don't have a bench number. If you bounce 1,000 pounds off your chest, but you only pause 200, you have a 200-pound bench. That's how it works. I'm just telling you. No, doesn't count though. You're not doing a bench press. You're doing a bounce. You're doing a chest bounce. It's not a bench press. Doesn't matter if you're a power lifter. That's like saying I squat 1,000 pounds, but you just do a curtsy. Well, it's not a squat. All right. So, So my best bench this year, I held it on my chest for 2 seconds. 1,000, 1,000 press. And that's with 350 this year. I want to get it back to 365. Yeah, you can't control it. You can't lift it. I'm just telling you. And I'm telling you as a guy at my age, this ego lifting stuff is going to hurt you guys. Right? All this bouncing and silly bullshit that you guys do are the reason people think these exercises hurt people. It's your bad form and ego lifting that makes people think the bench press hurts people's shoulders. Bench press is perfectly fine for your shoulders. Deadlifts are perfectly fine for your back. You guys have to stop ego lifting. I don't care that you're not a power lifter. No, there's not many ways. Hey, Karsten, I'm about to ban you for being stupid. I can't tolerate this level of stupidity. I am bleeding IQ points. I'm going to have to get rid of you. I am dumber for having read what you just wrote. Ronnie Coleman destroyed his body and is in a wheelchair. I think maybe he could have improved his form a little bit. But yeah, so this whole idea when guys say this silly stuff, this is why people get hurt. All right. So watch when I deadlift, you don't see any nonsense happening. I've already banned him 5 times, Dad. He's made new accounts. Now he's trying to behave more, but he's just writing stupid stuff about pro bodybuilders. Then get rid of him. Let's just get rid of him. Kapow. Get out of here. Well, Ronnie Coleman did, and it's like Ronnie Coleman's in a wheelchair. Yeah. But yeah, the ego lifting, this is a problem. Yes, we should be lifting heavy weights, but you need to have control of all of it. And this idea, well, it's just a gym lift, it's not a meet. Yeah, that's even worse. Right? That's even worse. Ernesto says, I'm 160 pounds. My mat squat is 210 for 1 rep. Is that pretty bad? I've been working out for 9 months. Well, Ernesto, I'm asking you a very simple question. You've been working out 9 months. You're making good progress. You're making good progress. So, but why are you asking, is it bad? Do you expect to be strong after only 9 months in the gym? That's not a realistic expectation. Unless you're an absolute genetic aberration, nobody is strong 9 months into lifting. Like literally nobody. 9 years, okay, but not 9 months. I think the best piece of advice I heard, it was Jim Wendler chatting with some CrossFit coaches one day in a podcast years ago. And one of them said, he's like, look, if you want to get strong, squat heavy once a week for 10 years straight. And you'll be pretty strong. You'll get strong. You'll figure a lot of it out along the way. So get in and put in the work. I mean, it's very, very straightforward. Get rid of that guy again. I'm going to refill my coffee. I'll be right back. Hey, EJ, don't write stupid stuff like that. People aren't that dumb. Nobody'd be dumb enough to come in my backyard. Right? I think you guys forget again where I live. All right. I always laugh at that. I've said some of those things, and people say Texas sounds like a dangerous place, and I'm like, well, yeah, if you're going to be a criminal. Like, yeah, I mean, if you want to be a burglar or a trespasser or assault people, you do not want to live in Texas because you're going to die, right? So yeah, obviously. All right, Grimby, I think then unlike and then we'd like to get more. No, that's not a good idea, Grimby. All right. I have really thin legs and calves, and so desperate to gain mass in those areas as I can. I'm 35. No, Ernesto, you don't need gear. You've been working out 9 months. Okay. Right? You are undertaking something that we understand is a slow process. Gaining true muscle tissue is a slow process. This is like coming to me when you're like, I really want to get my MD, right? I want to become a medical doctor. I want it so bad. I'm 9 months into medical school. Well, yeah, you need to finish out the 8 years. Okay. You see where I'm going with this? You're 9 months in. Keep going. You got a 210 squat. Okay, that's decent enough. 9 months of work. Keep training. Your legs will get bigger. All right. You got to get up. You got to get up to this level. But no, you don't have to get up to that. That's barely extreme. I should not use my legs as an example. Right. Sorry, you don't need gear. So there you go, Ernesto. You realize I coach. I'm a virtual coach. You're literally talking to someone who coaches people online for a living. So outside of simply continuing to put in the work, I have coaching slots open. Put in an application. I charge $250 a month. I have coaching slots open. So there's your other solution. You can hire me. But, still the fact of the matter is you can only gain muscle so fast. I messed up last night, ate a sleeve of Oreos. So maybe why do you have them in your house at all? It's hard to eat the junk food if you don't keep it around. People don't like my answer on the one of them too. This one pisses people off for some reason. They're like, well, I don't want to eat junk, but I have a bunch in the house for my kids. And I'm like, so you hate your children. You're feeding your children poison. And then that's your excuse for cheating on your diet. Well, I have a bunch of garbage that I know my children shouldn't be eating in the house. That I shouldn't be eating, and I feed it to them. All right, everyone, I got to go to bed. Take care, Dad. Because I'm going to take your advice and start a lean bulk of 1 pound a month. You can't if you even need it. I don't think people even always have to bulk and cut, by the way, EJ. Just be aware you don't have to bulk at all if you're not really lean. Like there's no real evidence that you need a calorie surplus to gain muscle. If your protein intake is high enough and you're not lean, you can recomp for a long time. Now, if you're walking around with deep abs, I understand. Yeah. But just be aware of that. You don't have to bulk to gain muscle unless you're just straight underweight and lean, in which case we get it. And I think drug-free guys really don't, they overvalue how big they're going to get in terms of body weight. Ernesto, I would have never guessed that you're Latino, bro, from the name. Sorry, I'm going to be funny there. I would have never guessed, man. Both my parents have really bad. Okay, so you believe that your parents have really bad genetics, or you're screwed then. If you believe that, you're screwed. I don't care what their genetics really are. It's irrelevant. The research shows us that if you believe you have bad genetics, you're done. This has been done in studies. They just lie to people and tell them they have bad genetics, and it just ruins their gains. Telling people they have good genetics gives you better gains, even if they do no genetic testing. That's what the studies actually show. Oh, we're down, Ryan. We're down to 228. We're 8 pounds from our target weight for the year. We hit the bench. Good stuff. So Ryan's goal for this year was to get down to 220 and to bench 315 at 220. We just benched 315. We're almost 220. He started at 320 originally, so he's lost about 92 pounds and getting stronger. Yeah, if you tell a kid he has Olympia's jet, he'll gain more muscle, right? So this has been studied. So the fact that you believe you have bad genetics, you're screwed then. I can't help you because that belief will sabotage you. That's a good question. Ryan can feel free to answer that. It's not going to be an average, guys. So you're asking someone on a long-term weight loss what their average is for the week. So think about that for a minute, EJ. It's not going to be, his average could be plotted out over 2 years and say, well, my average, see what I mean? May not be what he's doing right now. It's just context. But Ernesto, I mean, it's really not funny. I mean, I know you're laughing, but it's true. Like, we know this from studies. Like, if you believe you have bad genetics, you're screwed, dude. You're gonna have to unprogram that. Like, you're gonna have to lie to yourself. You're gonna have to do mantras in the mirror to undo the damage. You're gonna actually have to reprogram your thought process. Like, your belief limited you. And by the way, what does being Mexican have to do with it? I know so many stupidly jacked Mexican dudes. I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry, man. I live in Texas. The number of Latinos I meet at powerlifting meets and stuff who are stupidly jacked. Yeah, I'm not buying that as a reason. No, dude. No, not at all. Um, maybe a pound. We can take it a slow start. Took your cut at 265 back in May, right? Yeah, his strength was going down, so then he hired me, and strength started going back up. All right. And that's usually how it goes. So I reversed him from losing strength on his cut to going back up while continuing to cut. We get strong. All right. Check something here. So, yeah. Yep. Cool. At least the likes are slowly trickling up here. What else we got going on, guys? Diet, ultra simple, grilled chicken, rice, potatoes, protein shakes. Pretty much. Bro dieting works. Again, perfect example. And I tell this to people. You can make whatever arguments you want, but chicken and rice diets work. Ryan's another example. He's grilled chicken breast, rice, potatoes, protein shakes. Pretty much what he eats. And he's down 92 pounds and benching 315. He does weighted chin ups, by the way, even still while trimming down. We're deadlifting 460, but we'll get that up. Yep. I mean, obviously, he's going to have other vegetables in there, EJ, but you know. And this is as I recently squashed up my squat routine. I was squatting 35 reps. Yeah, that's a problem. Now I'm squatting 150 for 12 to 13. I mean, I suppose that's okay. I don't know why, as a novice, you're doing ultra high rep programming like that, but you know. Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't do a fair amount of rep work too. I'm just saying I'm not seeing any top sets, any heavy work. I'd mostly be doing 5s and 6s at your strength level and body weight, 5 to 8. No, I don't ever do Nordic curls. I think they're a risk to the knee for no benefit. I mean, you can do deadlifts and build your hamstrings. Do some glute ham raise. If you don't have a glute ham raise, you don't have to try to replicate the movement. I don't even use mine right now. I have a glute ham raise and I don't even use it at the moment. I hate doing high reps. Is that a problem? I really only go to 12 for accessory. I mean, that's fine. Not everyone has to do like I do. You guys know I do a lot of really high rep stuff too. But I'm still moving big weight. It's not like I'm doing high reps with 100 pounds on a compound movement. Yeah, don't use Tom Platz as an example for your training artist. Stop using pro bodybuilders at all for your samples. Are you a genetic freak on gallons of anabolics? Now, we already know you're not a genetic freak because you didn't say my parents have amazing top tier Olympic level genetics. Like your mom and dad didn't compete in the Olympic Games or something, right? NFL players, professional athletes, stuff like that. Not all through your family. Okay, so you don't have freak genetics. How much steroids are you willing to use? You willing to shave 30 years off your life with the doses? Okay, those are your two criteria. Now, that's when you can watch pro bodybuilders. Perfectly acceptable. You're like, dude, I got amazing top tier, top 0.5% genetics for gaining muscle, and I'm willing to inject gallons of steroids. All right, then you should use pro bodybuilders as your example of how to train. If you don't meet those criteria, you should just pretend they don't exist. But if you meet those criteria and you're like, man, I want to be 300 pounds ripped, okay. I mean, you're going to die young, but all right. That sort of volumes, I'm usually going to just go do sled for that. So like a typical, because I lift 3 days a week. So for me, a typical squat routine is a 5 rep set, then a 12 rep set. And then we go to bench and then deadlift. But I also push a sled and other stuff in between. Do you think insulin is the most dangerous drug bodybuilders use? Let me think this through before I answer. Is insulin the most dangerous drug that almost all bodybuilders use? I need you to be very specific in this question. Since pretty much insulin use is ubiquitous in the professional bodybuilding world, there's like nobody not doing it. But are we going to count all drugs as the most dangerous? Like I need you to quantify this question. I will say yes, insulin is the most dangerous drug that pretty much 100% of serious bodybuilders use. All right. Yes. Not guaranteed to be the most dangerous drug that bodybuilders use. I mean, we could make a case for certain diuretics. I think we can make a case for things like DNP. Right. And if we've definitely seen some horror stories with Lasix and Diazide. Diazide pretty much cost Flex Wheeler his kidneys. I've seen Lasix just straight kill people on contest day. We see it all the time. They just drop dead. But insulin, yeah, pretty dangerous, but it's also the most effective. Like without insulin, you don't have modern bodybuilding. So you take insulin out, we're back to Arnold size. But nobody's big anymore. If when you take insulin out of the mix, nobody is getting freak massive. They're just not. It's not going to happen. Ryan says, I eat some broccoli. I rotate some lean ground beef in as well. I train fasted and almost always break my fast with minimal fat, just protein and carbs. Since I walk all day, it's been working. There you go. Very simple. My favorite back are dead GH rows and wide medium pull-ups. That sounds reasonable to me, Aaron. Sounds perfectly reasonable. So that's the problem with the question, Benjamin. You don't have modern bodybuilding without insulin. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's deadly. But there's no choice. There is no modern bodybuilding without insulin. There isn't. Nobody's big anymore. There's no freaks. You can only get so big on steroids. The androgen receptor has limits. Charlie, no. You've not been here in many years? You realize that was a very short-lived window that I never want to repeat, for one. Number two, I don't eat food in the morning at all, and I haven't for years. I have not eaten food before 11 a.m. in probably 3 years. Yeah. I've been doing all my training fasted for a really, really long time. I mean, a really long time now. So, no, I don't eat food in the morning. I drink black coffee. Right. And I hate when people bring that up because it's peppermint and other people know. I did that because fans requested it, the eating while doing it, and it was so cringy. That's the only time I've ever felt uncomfortable on camera. It was a very short period where fans were requesting it over and over, and I felt extremely awkward and uncomfortable. And I'm normally super comfortable in front of a camera, and I have been for years and for over a decade. That was the only time I've actually felt awkward and uncomfortable with the camera. Crazy to think 13 years ago, coach doing any type of fasting. What do you mean? I was doing intermittent fasting during that weight loss back then too. Right? Because when I was sick and in bed, I got up to like 300 pounds again, and then I lost weight. I would rewatch your breakfast chat. So I'm never wow. So no, I actually enjoy training fasted. Especially with the leg work and stuff. Like I've realized my training is so much more comfortable when I don't have any food in my stomach. And it really became a problem. Like eating when I was doing conjugate, it was really becoming problematic for me to have food in my stomach and to train at like a speed day. Like I was vomiting and stuff during my speed squats. I was puking in the bathroom. So especially every time I would do speed squats with bands, I would puke my guts up. So it was becoming a problem. And so I realized that I've rotated over eventually to fasted training, and I found my training is so much smoother and more focused. And I've adapted to it. I mean, I can train for 2 or 3 hours on no food and I'm fine. I'm just used to it. And now if I do try to eat and do any exercise, I'm weaker, I'm lethargic. My body's like, what are you doing? If reps became low on sets below 10 reps or more sets needed to their require, what? No, Benjamin, I don't understand your question at all. With food, any kind of row bent over hinge lift always makes me, yeah. No, Benjamin, you don't necessarily need more sets at all. More sets is rarely the answer unless you follow Dr. Brad and think that that's actually really good science. Jason, I did your ice cream fitness program when I was 14. Cool. Just like David Lee did, yeah, he built his base on it. It was very successful. You know, I thought was funny. It's one of the biggest criticisms I had of it. Actually, someone said he just took starting strength and changed it. It wasn't based on starting strength at all, which was stupid. It's like it got criticism for me doing what I admitted I did. Right. When I originally wrote the program before I published it, I did it for someone who was a police officer who they wanted better officer presence. And I'm like, well, we should just take starting strength as a model and add some extra hypertrophy work for the upper body. And change the progression, because the starting progression is really stupid. Like it's moronic. The way he has you start the progression in the first few weeks is literally moronic. But otherwise, it was a solid program. So I just took that and ran with it. I'm like, let's take this type of 5x5. Let's change the progression. Let's add some supplemental lifts. And dudes will get really jacked on this. And I tested it on someone. And then I started YouTube later. All right. Have you ever came close to giving up lifting? I would rather die. I was forced to stop lifting for medical reasons for a couple years. And then I picked it back up about 15 years ago after. But honestly, I would rather die than stop lifting. If I had to choose between dying and not lifting, I would rather be dead. So that's how I feel. I've never been close. I've never given up. I was forced to stop lifting by my doctor at one time. Told by my doctor flat out, you have to stop. But then I rebuilt myself later. No, I don't. I can't even comprehend the idea. Motivation is not a factor. You don't need motivation. You don't need motivation to win powerlifting meets at all. You don't need to stop looking for motivation. Build habits. Habits create discipline. Once lifting becomes your normal lifestyle, you don't need motivation. Do you need motivation to brush your teeth in the morning? Do you need motivation to get up and go to work? No, you just do it. So do you need motivation to get up and do deadlifts? No, you just do it. You deadlift because it's Wednesday. All right. With all the mass monsters in current bodybuilding use sleep apnea machines. Benjamin, I don't know what you mean by need. I mean, are you asking me to find out what percentage of them have a sleep apnea machine? I don't how are we supposed to answer this question, Benjamin? Yeah, but how are we supposed to answer this question? Now, realistically, they probably do, but does it really matter? They're going to die anyways. Yeah, it would probably help some of them not have as much heart damage if they all got on one. But they're all going to die young anyway, so does it really matter? I mean, at the size they're getting to, they're all dying young. They're all going to die young. So do we really care? But yeah, they would probably reduce the heart damage if they all got on a sleep apnea machine. But I don't know how we're defining need. Like need is a strong word. I did some of those med ball throws in my yard the other day. Normally I slam the ball down, but I tried your red method. There you go. A dedicated activity, not motivated activity. Exactly, Michael. But we can't make a across the board statement like that and say, do they all have sleep apnea? Well, we don't know. We need more data. We would need to do a sleep study on every single pro bodybuilder to answer that question. Could we lean in the direction of probably? Could we lean in the direction, say that most of them would probably live longer if they got on a CPAP machine? Probably. But again, they're all going to die young anyway. So there's a certain point where you go, they're walking dead men anyways. Does it? And I'm not trying to be mean about it, but does it really matter? There'll probably be some exceptions, but that's a genetic resistance to the side effects. And I think people have to remember that too. That's what makes your best pro bodybuilders. Are they resistant to the deadly effects of the steroids? Do they have genetic resistance to some of those things? That's where you get guys like your Jay Cutler. Actually, he's in pretty good health, all things considered. Okay, that's straight genetics. There's a genetic tolerance to the negative effects. And that's why I've said some people say stuff like Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek does not have the genetics to be a pro bodybuilder. His side effects and the health effects are visible at a young age already. He'll die very young. Right? Whereas in guys like Jay Cutler don't exhibit those same things. And it's not because he's necessarily using less drugs. He's just got a set of genetic traits that make him resistant to a lot of the cardiovascular effects, even the inflammation, other stuff, right? So you have to think about those things. I was just about to mention Jay Cutler seems to still be healthy despite years and still has his hair. Do you think he'll live to be 70? I don't know. That could be pushing it given the history. Would you ever sit down with Samson? No. Because here's the thing, Peppermint. I want you to think about the fact of the stuff I already deal with. If I talk Sam Sulek to get him to cut his drug dose down and then he shrinks, and then he tells all his fans that Jason Blaha talked him into it, somebody will kill me. Some freak fan who wants to see him massive will show up and get in a gunfight with me. People are that crazy. So no, I don't care. His fans are crazy. His fans are psychos who think that he should be that big. He's got a massive following. No, I'm just staying out of it. And it's not like he would sit down and talk. So it's kind of like I'm not delusional enough. I think of stuff like that, Peppermint. I have to think about all the consequences of everything I do all the time with that stuff because that's the life that I live. So I'm also not delusional enough to honestly believe that Sam Sulek would want to sit down and talk to me about it. And I think people forget that with questions like that, where you're like, well, why would he sit down and talk to me? So do you see the absurdity of the question? Do you think Sam Sulek cares at all about my opinion? Do you think Jason Blaha exists in his world? Right? So he should respect it. But so what? But he's not going to listen to me. Why would he? So take it from his perspective. Assuming he even, maybe he doesn't even know who I am, but if he does, he may be like, oh, people say all this stuff that this guy's crazy and whatever. I don't care what this guy says. So why would he even listen to me? Why would he even have a conversation with me about it? And he's over here saying, man, I'm raking in money. What are you talking about? You need to shut up. Do you understand how much money he's probably making right now? So you have a young guy like that who's going to have the androgen brain from all the other stuff too. Do you think he's going to listen to anybody? The Gymshark is irrelevant in the equation. That's just a drop in the bucket. Look at his outreach. Like if you go look at Sam's Facebooks and YouTube and stuff, like what do you think his monthly income is from non-sponsorships? How much money do you think Facebook pays Sam Sue like every month? Right? How much do you think YouTube pays Sam Sue like every month? I'm going to go look right now. I'm going to estimate. I'm going to look up his main Facebook. I can never spell his name correctly. And if I don't spell it correctly, I can't find it. All right. So his main fitness page. All right. 8 hours. Wow, 900 likes. 14 hours. 1,000 likes. So he's getting 1,000 likes for reels, all done within the last 24 hours, multiple of them. Okay. Photos. Let's see how many likes he's getting. Yep, and then YouTube. So you figure he's making $1 million a year in ad revenue. Right? So Sam is probably making, just from social media, this year he's probably made $1 million. Ex-fat people often say they are treated differently after losing tons of weight. Did you know this after you lost weight and got jacked? Do you think people... Hey, Michael, I find the question actually almost comical. I want you to think about that. Do I get treated differently? Yeah, when I was fat, nobody called me while I'm not doing stuff. People didn't stop me and ask me for workout advice. I didn't have women walk over and say in the grocery store, wow, you were super jacked. None of that ever happened when I was fat. I find it comical. Yeah, people treat you a lot different. I don't really rotate main exercises, Francis. It's weird how he has so many fans, not exactly. He has a certain type of follower. Aaron says, why do you think guys like Dallas Lies at 26, yes, Hattie Chokin competes in top 3? How do you know he doesn't have serious health problems? Yeah. Hey, Charlie, I'm not going to answer that. What a strange question. Like, which grocery? Like, what? I just can't. Aaron, how do you know that he doesn't have health issues? Why would I worry about accumulating bacteria? I take a shower right after I run. Also, dude, it's the pavement. Like, what bacteria do you think is on the pavement? I'm not running out in the dog poop grass. I'm running on pavement. Like, how much of a germaphobe? Hey Sean, to even ask the question, I think that you might be a bit of a hypochondriac. Have you talked to a psychologist about this? And I'm serious. Like, if you are worried that walking on the pavement is accumulating bacteria, that sounds like you might actually have like hypochondria. All right. Francis, I'm not doing true maxing out. I'm just doing rep work. So 38 seems healthy to some extent. Dorian wasn't as big as these guys are now. Okay, but what does this have to do with bacteria, though, guys? If you are such a hypochondriac that you're afraid of asphalt, like in terms of wow. Carrie Hansen, yeah. Okay. Wow, Eric. Well, that's different. I just don't know how to respond to that. Carrie Hansen, okay. But you're not getting the same bacteria. The street doesn't have all the colds and stuff that you might even be getting from shaking people's hands. Think about it in terms of germs. See, the last thing you ever go to a hypochondriac is go to a doctor, right? I'm just, girls have a lot of bacteria. Wow, eek. Eek, you got to be trolling. Video games are better than girls, less trouble than more. What? Wow, this is the problem with the pussification of Western males. All right. He chooses video games over girls. Wow, that's actually really sad. That's really sad. Should I use a George Carlin line? All these dudes who are online going, well, I still choose these hobbies and I can't get a girlfriend, right? It's more pussy for the rest of us. Would be would be the George Carlin line. On Francis, on YouTube, or do you mean in my lifetime? But we don't talk about the pre-filming era. No, I didn't have specialty bars when I was younger. I only had barbells. Yes. So on here, it was with that bar. Right. I've hit some mid fives and stuff with other bars though. Yeah. I mean, I've done well up into the fives with every single bar. Everything from, I've even done 530 with a safety squat bar before. What do you mean used to, Sean? They still call me fat on the internet every day. Hey, Sean, what do you mean? They never stop doing it. I get called fat every single day, even to this day. So, no, it's just stupid. It doesn't upset me. It makes me think that they're a moron. Well, they were calling me fat back then too, actually. Sean, let me be clear. Ever since I've started making internet content for at least the last 10 years of it, people weren't doing it when I first started, but for the last 10 years, I have been called fat every single day on the internet, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So it's just normal. I expect that people, yeah, I'm just going to ignore your questions at this point. Let's move on. Jason, instead of a real girl, it's much cheaper and faster to beat me. Wow. Eek. That's just really sad, dude. Did you just make this account today? No, I'm just double checking that you didn't make a neutral account. That's really sad, dude. Well, hopefully that'll change. Hey, Charlie, I don't understand your question. What do you mean? I don't know. Do you and Pete Rubish still talk? Yeah. Sean, I'll answer it one time and move on because you keep digging into irrelevant stuff. I have not heard from Louis Marco in a decade. Yeah. That's why this seems like a really weird question. I couldn't tell you the exact year, but a decade, maybe, ballpark, since the last time I heard from him. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I don't even know if Louis Marco is alive. Right. So moving on, Sean, you live way too much in the past. All right. Any plans on implementing Zercher squats? No, not at this time. I know, right? Sean's always like that. It's easier to just ignore with some of it. I just move on. What's the most potent anabolic in terms of building muscle? Hey, Benjamin. That is so heavily debated. It's such an enormous point of contention that any answer I give you is going to be extremely hypothetical. Because medical doctors and scientists are not in agreement on that one. So do you understand the nature of the question? And again, what people are counting building muscle is not always the visual, right? I've heard researchers suggest that when it comes purely to the myofibrillar growth at the muscle fiber level, that they're all relatively equal. However, the visual difference can be vast between other things that they're doing. But there are people who debate, even in terms of the muscle building. Some people believe that nandrolone, based on at least some limited dose studies, could be 50%, 60% stronger than, say, testosterone and so on and so forth, milligram per milligram. But that changes with dosing. So this is a very, very nuanced topic that you could spend the next 200 hours of your life looking for an answer to and not get one. Right. And I know you were hoping for just a straightforward answer, but that is a point of enormous, massive debate and discussion with no clear answer. right? Makes sense? All right. I'll be back, y'all. All right. We're back. There are guys who take 20 grams a week these days. Crazy. Yep. I mean, Koneski admitted to 7 grams a week back when he was doing bodybuilding shows. What's his name? Boston Lloyd admitted to 13 grams a week. Right. True ordering a lot. I think one of the dead giveaways, and this is to tell if someone's a high doser versus a low. Eric and I were not friends. No. I clowned Eric pretty hard back in the day before he was even doing real content. And he's always been unhappy about that. Because we were giving him a hard time in all the steroid groups on Facebook, because he was 16 and using 3 grams a gear, and we were like, yeah, you got no business doing this, kid, just stop. Like, we gave him a hard time. And this is before he became a tuber, so he was blasting heavy doses in high school. So we all gave him a hard time, like, yeah, you need to stop, this is stupid, you have no business doing this at your age. He was like 150 pounds and was doing 2 and 3 grams, trying to get big fast. So Benjamin says, why would anyone take that much if there's a threshold to how much muscle anabolics build? Right. Because they'll do other stuff with it too. But they go hard. But usually the giveaway is the delts, right? So you have a really good idea when you look at the size of delts versus the rest of their upper body, right? No, I don't want to create a P.O. box for fan mail. But usually the delts is the giveaway. So you can tell when guys are using a lot of gear relative, because their shoulders grow so big in relation to other stuff. All right. Yeah, exactly, Peppermint. He already knows the answer to that question. I'm not in the bodybuilding community, Mickey. I'm not a bodybuilder at all. So I'm not in the bodybuilding community. So it seems like a very rather strange question. I've never heard anyone even suggest that I'm successful in the bodybuilding community. That's a rather That's a rather strange take. Okay, that's a first. All right then. I wonder if this is someone coming from somewhere else, some trolling stuff. They read something or heard something about me that's not true, and then they come here. How about GVS using your comments? Yeah, he's obviously a fake natty. Yeah, he came in and got upset with me and was in my comments. Yeah, we've already called it out. I called out all his site enhancements specifically, and people need to stop thinking any of these guys are natty. Like, this is a problem. This is just flat being deceived. This is naivety, it's deception, and it's unfortunate that it's the nature of the industry. All right, and that actually created the most hate for me early on. That's a reason I have so many enemies, because 12, 13 years ago, I was calling out guys for the fake natty scam. The way they do this, I was calling people out for supplements being a scam. The supplement industry is by and large a scam. That made me a lot of lifelong enemies. That made me hated, and it gave people a reason to hate me. They don't like people calling their stuff out. I mean, I was ultimately sued over those things. And it was actually the supplement research was the primary on the lawsuit. Are rows worth doing for hypertrophy? You're already doing deadlifts? Yeah, I think rows absolutely have their place for hypertrophy. You seem to not really care what people think about it, because there's a point I just don't care anymore. I mean, first of all, I'm 48 years old. I'm at that age where we just genuinely just don't care. Like this, if you know other people my age, you realize that's generally how we are at this point in life. Number one. Number two, I've gotten so much extreme hate online over the years. There's a point where I'm just like, it doesn't even matter anymore. People are just going to create crazy reasons to hate me anyways. So I just don't care. I mean, my name has been dragged through the mud so many times with so many crazy accusations. Yeah, I did the fake Merc thing, which I apologize for. And that's been almost 11 years now. But people still act like it's a relevant thing. Like they act like it's something I did for a long time. No, it was a very short window. And I took it all down and it blew up all online. And I did a 15-minute apology later. But that's a lifetime ago. But outside of that, people they've essentially remixed material, created their own banter back and forth. And it just created all these crazy ass stories about me that aren't even based on reality. So there's a point where it's like, well, what else can people accuse me of? Let's go down the list of things I've been falsely accused of. Being a neo-Nazi, being a pedophile, being an animal abuser. I've been accused of having Klinefelters. I've been accused of being a short guy. I mean, I've been accused of being paralyzed. There was a whole series of hate videos for a year straight when I wasn't training on camera anymore for a while, to where everyone thought I was paralyzed and in a wheelchair. There were videos with 100,000 views accusing me of being in a wheelchair. Haters used to call businesses they knew I would frequent and warn them about the guy in the wheelchair. I mean, so it's like there's a point where I just kind of go, I just don't care anymore. I mean, what's somebody going to accuse me of next? Of being a space alien. There'll be a video somewhere, someone makes it, it'll get 500,000 views, and then I'll have a flood on my channel of people accusing me of being from the planet Neptune. All right. Do you see vegan? I don't watch it at all. I don't care. The Snake Man, honestly. I don't watch YouTube. Corin, I'm streaming on multiple platforms now. I don't watch YouTube at all. I mean, other than music stuff, let me rephrase it. I like music stuff, right? I watch guitar lessons. I'll watch music things. I'll watch music reacts. I don't follow the fitness world at all. I just don't care. Why would I respect them? Why would I respect fake natties who sell garbage supplements? I don't respect them at all. Um, hey Sean, I would retort to your question. Why does it bother you that I make comments about it? I'm not bothered at all. Hey Eek, we don't need your sort of weird perverse nonsense on here. So we're up for a vote. We haven't done a vote in an hour. All right, guys. Eek is talking about femboys and other degenerate nonsense. Kapow or go. We're up for the vote. We'll let the jury decide. Kapow. Ryan's a client, so his kapow's count is double unless Benjamin gives a kapow. Anybody else voting? Sean wants to give him a second chance. We're at 2-1. I'm going to throw my vote in. Kapow. 3-1. A little bit of shake and bake. Kapow, you're out of here. We don't need your degenerate, doesn't want a girlfriend and jerks off to video games and talking about femboys. No, you're out of here. I don't want to give second chances to people like that, actually, Sean. It's not the sort of channel that I run. No, let's get rid of it. We don't need it. Yeah, it's pretty slow this morning. Clear them out. Why do you still got a Pepe the Frog? This is 2025, man. Oh, let's check his channel out. Go to the channel. He came in here being critical the other day too. What's he got? Joined September the 7th. Right. 2025, not 2015. What's this frog? What this frog do, right? Yeah, dude. You're so far behind with meme culture, man. And I'm old. I'm 48 and I know this. Come on, bro. Seriously. Just you gotta get with those times. Maybe it's another weird thing from the past that kids have latched onto. Yeah, but nobody does the whole Pepe thing anymore, man. It's move on. Meme culture evolves over time. You got to know your memes. Just saying. All right. New culture is different in Europe. Jason, do you have Muslim clients? Yes. Yes, I do. I think in terms of different religions, I've had most of the major religions. Setting aside various sects of Christianity, I know for a fact out of clients I've had, Muslim clients, Jewish clients, I've had one Sikh, I've had a Hindu client. I don't think I've had any Buddhists. All right. Are they radical? Not to my knowledge. No, I wouldn't want a radical. Islamic client. I don't have any vegan clients, no. I had one who tried to go vegan on me and then told me, and I'm like, this is going to create a problem. And he realized really quickly it was a problem, and he went back to eating animal protein. Like, I wasn't doing any of his diet stuff. He just told me he wanted to do it. Can they fight? Can many of my clients fight? Considering I have literally put up vloggers of competitive fighters, what do you think? Nobody can coach vegan clients. They're going to have problems. They're a risk. Hey, clear them out. Considering I have had vlogs with competitive fighters, including one who ranks really, really, really well, and had him as a vlogger, as a client, then what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about my clients in general. Was gym culture toxic before the takeoff of social media influencers and smartphones? No, gym culture was not anything like what we're seeing today. It was always a supported, positive environment. Like, if we're talking, you're going back 20 years, 25 years. No, dude. Do you have any clients who want to jog? What do you mean, want to, or do they? Sean, who want to? That's a strange question. What do you mean, want to? Do you mean, do they? I have plenty of clients who do both. I have plenty of clients who run. I have clients who do marathons. I have clients who do martial arts. And I've had plenty of both over many years. This is a strange question. I don't understand. What do you mean, want to? Sean, I know that you claim to follow me, but are you new to my channel? Like, do you watch any of my videos at all? I don't think you actually know anything about my content. I mean, you know all this stuff going back asking me about people like Louis Marco, but you would make such a crazy statement towards someone who is pro running and pro cardio and tells people they need to do cardio and has his powerlifters do conditioning work who compete in powerlifting, and it's well known, right? I feel like I'm well known for this position. Like, if someone hears my name and doesn't understand that, they don't know anything about my work. They have only listened to something they've heard other people say about me. I would assume that anybody who follows my work at all knows anything about my work, knows that I am very pro cardio. I've done client vlogs where I'm like, this client runs marathons. They're a marathon runner. I do their strength training. They run marathons. They're a distance runner. This is their sport. On top of that. So, Sean, I don't think you actually follow any of my work at all. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I think that you're lying about it. You don't actually follow any of my work. Do you still implement the Pinley row? Yeah, I'm doing sets of 15 with it with 225 right now. So I do it right now currently. It's in my current rotation. Master Simon, hey, what's up? But Sean, then why don't you know anything about my work? Taylor said, if you were hypothetically limited to 100 pounds of total weight on a barbell dumbbell weight machine, how would you approach your programming? I would do a double tap on the person who's restricting my weight, and I would go work with 500 pounds. Done. See how easy that was to answer? I think a double tap to the head would resolve it. And then I'd go lift 500 pounds. There's your hypothetical answer. Okay. All right, that is an auto ban, by the way, clear them out. I never did any ASMR on my channel. So you've come here from watching troll videos. That's a dead giveaway. Next. Kapow. Thoughts on Muay Thai retreats in Thailand? I don't know anything about that. You spoke about clients of yours who are marathon runners. What's the difference between their training compared to ordinary? That's not how coaching works. That's not a useful answer. And the reason, all of my clients are trained completely different. Does that make sense? It's not like I have a specific program for marathon runners and a specific program for people who don't compete in anything and a specific program for my powerlifters. Okay. All my training is based upon individual needs of the client. So, yeah, it just simply doesn't work that way. Hey, Sean, I'm not giving you legal advice on self-defense in here. I think you should go take a tactical handgunning class that also teaches you the local laws where you live as part of the course. That's my advice to you. All right. Let's see. Kapow, you're out of here. Let's get rid of this guy. All right, next. General thoughts on chicken as a source of protein. I eat a pound or two of chicken every single day. I put up pictures of all my meal prep chicken. I mean, I put all my food up on social media every day, including all the before and afters of when I cook 10 pounds of chicken breast at a time, at least once a week. It all goes up online, man. I eat tons of chicken. Again, I don't think you follow my work. One of these people, they ask the questions. You clearly not familiar with my work. That's okay. I like chicken breast. I think it's a great source of protein. I eat it every single day. All right. Well, it's on Instagram too. It double posts. All pictures get double posted. Right. We do the double post. So I do it all through my Meta business app. Hey, Coach, how you doing, man? Kapow! And he's out of here. We're not even voting on these. We're just getting rid of this stuff because these aren't even votable. These are just auto kicks. Coach is doing. Also eating a steak a day. Too many variables to answer that. All right. So it's based on individual needs. What are the main individual needs that you look out for? Is it time? We're going to need a long list. Time, preference, recovery, overall activities, current strength levels, what equipment they have access to, certain individual genetic responses, right? It goes down. There's going to be a lot of variables. Right? I mean, even perfect example, Ted, we ran conjugate for a while and then he wanted to do some base building for some other stuff. So we ran him on just straight classic lift base building on a 4-day upper lower. Now we've rotated him back to conjugate. Hey, Sean, you can't post links on my channel. I have it blocked. So no one can see it, including me. So. Should most individuals add rucking to their fitness programs or too much on the body? I did lots of rucking. I remain reluctant onto how necessarily effective it is overall. I mean, I have a 50-pound weight vest. Hold it to 50 pounds. Do you think Facebook is the best platform for content creators? That's why everything I do is on Facebook. And then we cross post. So even if I'm streaming, I'm in Facebook also right now. I'm not just on here. I don't make any unique content for the tubes. Everything is multi-platform content. And I post on Facebook all day. It's my primary social media platform. The only difference is my live streams on the tube get way, way, way more questions. They don't get more views, but they get more questions. So, no, Facebook is my primary platform. So why did it change your life, Sean? No, Desert, it's not any easier at all, actually. It's just as easy on that platform. So, Sean, what is it that made that one specific? YouTube can change anyone's life who can't afford to lose their gym pre-workouts on the tubes, but they're all on Facebook also. It's kind of the point I was making. Oh, the vegan question. Okay, I got you. All right. Sorry, a slightly weird question, but do you think sharks or crocodiles are scarier? I don't know. I don't stand around worrying about either one. I was watching videos by vegans and they said humans are herbivores, and I believe until you disprove the claim. Since then, I've enjoyed heaps of meat. Vegans failed to convert because I got you, Sean. Fair enough. But then the carnivores are just as crazy too, aren't they? These people are all crazy with their fad diets. They're completely out of touch with human evolution or human biology. Just they're all completely out of touch, right? And they have very strange takes, don't they? You have to wonder. But what's interesting is like both groups are so delusional and out of touch. Like carnivores really think that our species, that Homo sapiens, stood around eating 3 pounds of meat every day at some point. There's zero evidence of this. In fact, it's common sense should tell you otherwise. They wouldn't even have there's no way they could have done it. And then vegans, we're because we descended from frugivores. And again, they completely ignore the fact that we're cooked food omnivores. Can you name a non-fitness book that heavily influenced your life? I suppose the Bible, right? Actually, carnivores are pretty militant, Sean. Sean, you don't have a social media outreach in fitness, so you don't understand how militant carnivores are. They are more militant than vegans now. They dominate everything trying to convert people. So yes, they actually do. So on social media platforms, you can't make a pro carbohydrate or pro vegetable post without carnivores coming in and attacking the post. You're aware of this, right? You're aware that when I was making videos saying that we need vegetables and carbohydrates, that I had hate videos made by carnivores about me before I even knew what carnivores were. Some of them responded and literally made hate videos towards me purely because I was promoting that, and they threw the fake Merc stuff and stuff in there on top of it. Like Bart K actually did that and literally threw that thing in there, that part in there. No, they again. Hey, music, I can't help you with that at all. You're going to have to hire a lawyer. And no, I don't want to talk about it because this is such a point of hate towards me. That no, I don't want to discuss it at all. You need to hire a lawyer. That's it. That's everything that you need to know. You need to hire a lawyer. Right? So that's the process. That's my advice. So those type of lawyers work off of a contingency. They don't require money up front. There's a standard procedure for that. There's an industry standard on how they get paid. So you need to hire a lawyer, right? Get all your medical documentation together, hire a lawyer, see how many of your doctors are willing to sign off on it. So that's the whole process. That would be my advice. Don't try to do it yourself. Get a lawyer. You will fail. It's a very difficult system. Like you try to do it without a lawyer, dude, you're going to fight it for 5 years. So, no, Sean, I find that carnivores are extremely militant. Extremely militant. So I don't understand what you're saying at all. Yes, they are seeking to convert everybody, and they will literally attack you for promoting vegetables and carbohydrates. They will throw insults. They'll tell you you're stupid. They'll tell you you're a moron, all under your post. And they'll tell you how carnivore changed their life. Yeah. Now, it's been a long time too, music. Like this is a lifetime ago, so I'm going to assume nothing has changed. But that's the best advice I can give you. Because again, haters don't realize that was a really, 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 really long time ago. I haven't gotten any of that in a super long time. Right. So, like my income disqualified me, irrespective of any medical status. My income flat disqualified me. The regulars are going to laugh. He just asked me if I've heard of vegan gains. You do realize vegan gains literally talk shit about me every single day, right? Like you're aware we have history. I have a protein shake, just my training days right now, so it's post workout, at least currently. Richard and I have a lot of history. Let's just put it that way. We've had back and forth going back like 12 years. So have I heard of Richard? Richard literally hates on me every single day. Every day. So can we just move on? I don't want to talk about his goofy ass, but for some reason he wants to talk about me. I only even mention him when you guys ask about him, but can we move on? Why is he even a topic of conversation? I don't agree with him on anything. Done. He he hates me because I promote eating meat. Just like the carnivores hate me because I promote eating vegetables and carbohydrates. I am pro lean meat and pro dairy. Right? The carnivores hate me because I'm pro carbohydrate and vegetable. I think that we should eat a wide variety of whole foods, guys, and have a balanced diet. This makes me the enemy of crazy fad diet cultists. You know? Right? You'll never win. Exactly. Yeah. You can't. So I just clown them. I just make fun of both groups at this point. I mostly do it on Facebook, though, before I do it the most. Speaking of which, I should probably do that again today. There we go. Right? Sometimes we just got to poke the bear. All right, making a Facebook post literally right now. All right, we're going to add some pretty colors. Who is crazier, vegans or carnivores? Let's pose the question. And we'll let people argue about it. And they're both going to come in all pissed at me. All right. Hey, Coach, drop my like. Appreciate it. Hey, Benjamin, I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what he's saying these days. I mean, I don't watch fitness tubers. Benjamin, you can't ask someone who doesn't watch these people anymore if their content is useful. I wouldn't know. Coach, are you going to start World War III? No. All right. No. How would I? Yeah, never heard of her. I mean, again, when I say that I don't watch these people, like I just don't stand around watching fitness people anymore. I don't. I put out all the content you guys need for information. What are you talking about, peppermint? Nothing. This is a fake peppermint. Oh. Aha. It is a fake peppermint. Yep, there was a fake peppermint. I checked the creation date. Yep, that was a fake peppermint. You stole your picture and everything, bro. Yeah. You got fangirls now. Yeah, we had a fake peppermint. We didn't vote on that one, right? Jason, do you think focusing on the delts is a good move if you're training for aesthetics purely? Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yep. There you go, peppermint. There it is. I almost feel like I should do more delt work, mainly because I don't blast a bunch of gear. My delts are not looking like all the guys on tons of gear. I almost feel like I need to do more delt work. But I'm like, I ran through a whole phase where I was doing tons and tons of delt work. That's the problem with the guys who blast so much gear, they just get such big delts. You know, and that's becoming, unfortunately, like the standard. Yeah. You know. But I mean, I can see that in some of my stuff. I realize my delts, honestly, his arms are not even that big of an issue at this point. It really is my side delts and stuff. If I were chasing purely aesthetics, just get leaner and more shoulder. Arms are important to me, though, at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Important to Blaha. I mean, yeah, possibly. I mean, if you're shooting for physique stuff, then yeah, because you're being compared to people blasting gear who are going to have a higher delt, development, so stuff you got to think about. Unfortunately. I'm actually thinking about that again right now. Should I start throwing some delt work and even some net work back in now that I've been working the workloads, the volumes up a little? Like honestly, the delts should be the centerpiece of the upper body for aesthetics. But that's because that's been the standard that's been set from the heavy drug use. And just food for thought. No, I don't want to put oil on my delts. I'd rather not review. Yeah, that's not worth it to me. Because keep in mind, you're going to have scar tissue and stuff in there, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. I got to train. Right. But I mean, I can give you an example. So I mean, you guys can see what I'm talking about. So like yesterday, uh, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So if you look here with me walking away from the what should I call it? The med ball throws. I mean, I think this pretty much highlights it, right? Like I actually look really big everywhere except my side delts. Like I can see in that picture that if we're looking at physique standards, like even from that angle, my arms don't even look bad at all. Like this is not a problem. But the delts, right? And we know what my back looks like from behind. So maybe we get some input there. You guys will see what I mean. And it's mainly because I'm just not blasting gear. It's a factor there, right? I'm just not going to have those shoulder proportions. And plus, not pinning them on top of it. Yeah. Like I'm almost thinking I need to throw some laterals in at this point. Right. But so Rufio, you guys everybody, do you see my point, Rufio? I mean, am I wrong or am I wrong? When you see that angle, are my side delts not my limiting factor in terms of the setting aside that I could be leaner, obviously, for more of a classic aesthetic type look. My shoulders, my delts are definitely a limiting factor there. So, monsters outside throwing the med ball look like a hog, right? But do you see what I'm saying too, Ryan, with the delts? So what if I look just like that there, but I had another inch of meat on each of my side delts? It would be a complete transformation in terms of my look. I'm fully aware how big I look. Like people let me know in person. They're like, yeah, you're massive. But yeah. Hey, music. Please don't ask me about my personal life. Thank you. Things like my medical insurance, that is definitely personal life. I feel like if you ever got down to 192, those side deals would pop a bit more. They would, but they're still not going to be as big. Because think about the number of people I'm competing with. So how many of the guys who are my height at a lean 190 on Fitness World are on a gram or two of gear? Right? So that's the problem. I don't have that advantage there. Right? Yeah. But Peppermint, you guys see what I'm saying with adults, right? I mean, is this in my head or am I right? You guys tell me if I'm out of order like that. I mean, anyway. Yeah, apparently he really did make the video and review. I've already discussed it. He made the video, and it's just like, I mean, I don't. He can't even compete with me on lifts. I mean, other than pressing, I just don't get it. And I'm focusing on athleticism. I'm not even chasing an elite powerlifting total. Rufio, we already covered it in multiple lives. Like you can see the lives. Look at the titles from the last few days. Yeah, this coffee chat's running. The sun's not even up yet. Well, it's gotten pretty good views, so I've been running it. But that's kind of my point. It's like you're going to stand there and talk to, again, a guy about to be 49 that he hasn't made progress on his lifts or anything, who I got leaner this year and upped my cardio, and I've been focusing on athleticism and running and maintained my strength. And it's like, he can't hang with me on anything other than pressing, and he's a kid, it's just very weird. Yeah. No, I mean, I know I'm doing well. It was very weird that he felt the need to do that. I've got to catch up with it. But yeah, I kind of answered all of it in detail. Yeah. But yeah, that's the too long didn't read. Right. But yeah, that's getting into my personal life. I'm not going to discuss stuff like my health insurance or things like that. No, that's way too far into my personal life. To be fair, the trash talking drama is half a YouTube fitness game. Maybe that's, it could be. Yeah. Well, it's like kind of his thing. He doesn't like, apparently, that I change different aspects of my training over time. And I'm like, I'm still crazy strong. I'm crazy fit for my age, specifically both. And I'm continuing to get fitter and keeping the injuries low. Like, I clearly do know what I'm doing. And again, I will simply point out, he already needs to use elbow sleeves for everything he does. He's not going to be benching what I bench at my age. It's just not going to happen. I'm just going to call it. He does too much silly stuff that's going to get him hurt. Look how many people have gotten strong, right? When I literally have guys benching 500 plus pounds raw on social media giving me props for starting with some of my free programming. They're like, I got my start from you, and the dude's benching 500 pounds. It's like, oh my God. I think not only would your totals be more for raw lifting, you'd run a faster 5K, right? Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing. I'm pursuing well-rounded health and fitness these days. It's like, I run, I do cardio, I do all this GPP. Like, I want to be fit and strong. We're not getting younger here, bros. All right. That being said, though, probably going to wind this down. All right, we're done. We've shut down the Facebook. And I'm going to get some training done here somewhat soon. So love you guys, and I'm out. Catch you guys later. No, we don't have good lighting for the bicep shot. We'll do one later. All right.